Good afternoon, and a welcome to my parliamentary colleagues, members of the Progressive Labour Party Executive, the branch chair for constituency number 9, and members of the media. Over the past weekend, the Progressive Labour Party had the opportunity to canvass the residents of Smith's West, constituency 9. We were encouraged by the overwhelmingly positive response. Over the last few decades, Smith's West has been neglected by a missing in action member of parliament who rarely canvassed the constituency and rarely met with voters. From all indications, even if he did canvass, the resigned member of parliament did not canvass all voters, but only, perhaps, a select few. But today, we are not here to focus on the past. We are here to focus on the future. And in these trying and difficult times, your Progressive Labour Party team is capably and steadily seeing the country through. And now, while ensuring the safety and health of the community, we are focused on our economic recovery. A person that would be incredibly valuable in helping to see Bermuda through the economic recovery is none other than our candidate for constituency number 9, Mr. Vance Campbell. Please come sit with me. Vance's credentials are impeccable. Vance is a certified public accountant and works currently as the CEO of a major hardware store. He is a past chairperson of the Consumer Affairs Board, deputy chair of the Bermuda Housing Trust. Vance is also a past vice president of the Foster Parents Association, chair of Young Life Bermuda, and is currently the president of Young Men's Social Club. Bluebirds. He also serves on the board of Bermuda Bermuda Hospital. As you can see, Vance's connections to the community run the spectrum, and he is committed to serving his community in various forms. Tough times lie ahead. The post-COVID economy will require capable and steady leadership. Leadership that cares for Bermudians, is focused on ably managing the coronavirus pandemic and our economic recovery, providing affordable health care and making sure that every child has a quality education in our public school system. We need strong leadership, solid plans for the future, and a vision to see us through better times. I strongly believe that electing Vance Campbell in Smith's West is the best choice. He has built relationships with the residents of Smith West, and in the 2017 general election, he narrowed that gap. I am proud to have Vance Campbell standing for the PLP in constituency number 9, and I look forward to his contributions to our economic recovery. Now, for our candidate for constituency number 9, Senator Vance Campbell.
Good afternoon, Premier and Party Leader, the Honorable David Burt, KPMP, family, friends, party members, members of the media, and voters and residents of constituency number 9, Smith's West. The next time the House of Assembly sits, for the first time in 27 years, the voters of constituency number 9 will be represented by a new face. A first-time member of Parliament. This new member of Parliament will take their seat at a time when Bermuda is in the midst of fighting a pandemic caused by COVID-19. As a result of the necessary and effective measures that were and continue to be required to protect the health and well-being of all those who reside and work in Bermuda, untold damage has been done to our economy. The story is the same in most countries around the world. Like Bermuda, those countries wrestle with the delicate balance of protecting lives while keeping the economy open for business. To the voters of constituency number 9, there has never been a time such as this when you have had to go to the polls and cast your vote. and choose the individual that will represent your interests in the House of Assembly. Never before has your choice been so critical. When you go behind that curtain to cast your vote, I am asking you to vote not based on party, but on which candidate and which leadership team is best equipped to meet the challenges that the members of the House of Assembly will face in the months and the years immediately before us. To the voters of Smiths West, I humbly offer to serve. For the past 3 years as a senator and junior minister, I have worked tirelessly and effectively on behalf of the people of Bermuda. Our work in the Senate has resulted in the passage of a multitude of bills designed to update antiquated laws, ensure our continued compliance with anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist financing regimes, and to protect our jurisdictional reputation against ever-evolving threats. As a result of the bills passed in the Senate, Bermuda continues to be a premier jurisdiction of the financial services sector, for the financial services sector. In addition, I have also served in the Joint Select Committee on Private Bills. As was said by the Premier, I am the Chief Executive Officer. He didn't say SAL Limited, but I'm saying it. I am a member of and past chairperson of the Consumer Affairs Board, and a trustee and deputy chairperson of the Bermuda Honorable Trust. The current chair of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party's Finance Committee. My tenure as the general manager of the Bermuda Housing Corporation. My tenure as the general manager of the Bermuda Housing Corporation from 2003 to 2006 is a testament to my leadership skills and my ability to function well in a climate of extreme media scrutiny and intense public interest. Through my involvement in community-based organizations, I have had the opportunity to directly and indirectly positively affect the lives of many young people, families, and seniors. I know the struggles and everyday challenges that they are confronted with. I am a past vice president of the Boston Parents Association, a former club leader and committee member, and past chairperson with Young Life Bermuda, now known as Frontline BDA, a former executive member of the Youth Committee of Young Men's Social Club, and the current president of the club. I am also a member of the Executive Council of the Bermuda Football Association, and have served as a member and continue to and will serve as a member of the Bermuda Hospitals Board in the months to come. Earlier I stated that, and I'm talking to the voters of number 9. Earlier I stated that your next representative in the House of Assembly will enter that chamber as a first-time member of Parliament. I am well prepared for the responsibility that comes with that mantle. I have a wealth of experience. I am battle tested, and I stand here ready, willing, and able to represent all who reside in Smiths West, in the Smiths West community. I am committed to ensuring that your needs and concerns are communicated to the government, and that the government takes action to address them. I believe that I will provide the representation that you expect and deserve. The fact of the matter is that difficult times lie ahead. These times require capable and steady leadership. Leadership that cares for Bermudans. As we look toward our economic recovery, we must rebuild Bermuda in a way that works for Bermudians. We need strong leadership with a heart for the people. We need affordable health care now. We need to phase out middle schools and make sure every child has a quality education. We stand here near to the Elliott Primary School, I can attest to the fact that you can receive a good education in the public system. I have one child at Elliott and one that just graduated from Elliott, and a previous child now at Larkin that came through Elliott as well. We need strong leadership with solid plans for the future and a vision to see us through without a time. It is in difficult times like these, we need leaders like David Burton and the PLP team. Leaders that put Bermudians first. And I'll repeat that. Leaders that put Bermudians first. So I humbly offer myself as one of those leaders. I am at your service and can be contacted by telephone at 535-0378, and I thank you.
Members of the media, happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, Senator Campbell, notwithstanding your ambitions, Smith's West is regarded as an OBA stronghold, with Mr. Monez capturing 57% of the poll last election. Do you see your efforts as an uphill battle?
We should never take any constituency for granted, and whether you're in the OBA or the PLP. We made steady and good progress between 2012 and 2017. And when the voters of constituency 9 look at the individual candidates and hold them up side by side, I'm confident that I stand out as the best candidate to represent their interests.
Your opponent, Vic Ball, he said Bermudians are suffering under the weight of new and increased taxes. And he said post-COVID-19 there is no discernible economic recovery plan. Is he right?
Absolutely. I will have a part of that, and then I'll let the Premier handle the rest. The Progressive Labor Party has lowered taxes for the residents of Bermuda, or Bermudians, in the lower tax brackets. So that's absolutely false, that we've increased taxes.
The Junior Minister of Finance knows very well of the economic record of this government. And so what you will get from the One Bermuda Alliance is deception, spin, and half-truths. The fact is, under the One Bermuda Alliance government, payroll taxes for workers in this country were raised to the highest level in history. Under this Progressive Labor Party government, payroll taxes for workers in this country are the lowest that they have ever been. So I reject flatly that accusation. The second thing is, when we talk about a plan for economic recovery, we had recommendation from the Economic Advisory Council. Do you know what the first plan for economic recovery was from the Economic Advisory Council? Reopen our country, get our tourist industry back up and running. That is what we have done. We have done it successfully, and we've done it by working together. So people on the other side can talk, but this is a government of action, and we will continue to act in the best interest of people we serve.
And if I can continue on that, we have seen recently in the news where we have some of the smaller hotel operations reopening. I can attest firsthand to the construction industry, and we know the construction industry in Bermuda is the first indicator when there's signs of trouble and the last to come out of an economic depression. What you see in the construction industry today, many small projects, it's active. We don't have the major project as the ones that were there are winding down, but we have a lot of activity in the construction industry, and I can attest to that firsthand. We also have a strong interest in the one-year certificate, residency certificate, for people who can work here. They will come here. They will spend money in our economy, in the shops. They will rent homes. They will go on sightseeing tours. They will buy memorabilia to send home. So to say there's absolutely no plan is nonsense.
You mentioned, like, if you compared yourself with Vic Ball, you would be the better candidate. What makes you feel like you would be the better candidate? What qualities do you feel like you possess?
Well, I think my record speaks for itself. You know, I didn't see any involvement in the community from the other candidate. I have a strong background of involvement in the community. I have a very strong financial background, which I think will be useful in these days and times. But also, when you look at character,
Yes. Yep.
the question of character,
Yep.
and I really find it interesting that the constant from the OBA in criticizing the PLP for these allegations of corruption, but yet they have no problem rolling out and standing next to a candidate that admitted to trying to give a contract to a company owned 50% by their father. So, do I need to say any more?
You mentioned that construction companies are the last to come out of the depression. Would you describe Bermuda's economic situation now as a depression?
No, I wouldn't. Because I would say that if you walked onto SAL on any day, particularly on a Tuesday and Thursday, you're there. You take advantage of the discounts that we offer. But, you know, on a regular basis, our yard is full. We have individuals, we have small contractors, we have medium-sized contractors who are out there active. And I think that is, as I said before, a strong indication of where our economy lies.
And if I can add one thing, Senator Campbell, because I think it's an important point, and a lot of times when things are said inside a press conference, we manage to miss what is said. During the pandemic, we didn't wait for us to come out of shelter in place and move to phase 4 and other things to be working. One of the things that we did in the Department of Planning was streamline planning processes, and we approved a number of applications. The statistics went out, and those are small projects that are going, that are starting, that Senator Campbell was talking about. So the fact is that there will always be a lot of noise, but you have to look at the actions in which this government has taken and the work of which we are doing. We have successfully managed this pandemic, and we are successfully getting people back to work, and that is what we will do and continue on that path.
Last question from me. As a junior finance minister, what significant contributions have you made to the overall pandemic recovery plan to Bermuda?
Well, I think the role of any member of the legislature on the government side is to ensure that the government plans are passed through. So I have been part of a very strong Senate team, all of whom are here today to support me, all with excellent skill set individually and collectively. And I would challenge anyone to find a stronger Senate team. So we have successfully guided the government's bills and work through the Senate, many in recent times pertaining to the COVID-19.
Hi, Bob Blosser here. My question is, when you're out canvassing, what were the major concerns from the community?
Well, we began canvassing on Saturday, this past Saturday, and you have a lot of parents, you have a lot of people out of work. So the economy, education, and how going back to school will look, the concerns there. And obviously with the COVID-19 still amongst us, we have concerns about health. And what goes hand in hand with that is the cost of health. And this party is working to reduce that cost.
I think to sort of piggyback on that question, how do you hope to tackle these sorts of issues within the near future if you're elected? Sorry, how do you hope to tackle these issues that have seemed to be big concerns in the constituency in the near future if you're elected?
Well, the Premier and I have both spoken on certain measures that have already begun as far as the economic recovery. The Minister of Health, as everyone here should know, has been working on bringing down the cost of health insurance for these items. So, those are already well in training. And as far as safety, we continue to have the most stringent COVID-19 protocols in the world. So, and they have recently been strengthened as a result of some of the recent cases. So, your government is on the job, and when we have to react to make changes, we're not afraid to make those changes, and we make those changes quickly.
Premier, perhaps the 800-pound elephant in the room. Is it time for a general election?
And it will be time for the voters of Constituency 9 to list the polls, and as the law requires, I must make a decision by the end of the week, so that I will do.
In terms of the general election?
The law requires that a by-election be held within 60 days of any election being held. And so as we, after resignation, we have made recent changes to our Parliamentary Election Act, which ensure that more persons can participate in the process. We make sure that parolees have been given access to poll, that seniors who are unable to come out of their houses are able to be visited by poll workers and to be voted. We've extended the time, so it's 40 days. So it's a narrow window, but any decision that needs to be made will be made under the laws that exist.
People are saying that to avoid these planned resignations that Mr. Kenner talked about, that you might just call a general election very soon.
There's a number of things in which I'm considering, but when those things will happen, they'll all be revealed in time.
Thank you, Premier.
Okay, so I have one more actually. And you had tweeted maybe 2 weeks ago a response to the OBA leader. Did he ever respond as to how many more by-elections he was planning on having?
No, he did not. But we did have our scheduled 9:30 a.m. call on Monday morning, where we discussed ongoing items to deal with the coronavirus and others. But no, he did not give the answer which I was seeking. So.
Thank you.
Remarks out,